Alright, son, for Algebra 1, we're going to move on to this business we call sets of real numbers. Okay? Now, if it's what we call real numbers, it can really just be any number, really. So, it could be either, negative, positive, whatever. So any number is just called a real number, and we designate that by R. Easy enough. Okay. Alright, so there's, what we call natural numbers, and we designate that by capital N. And natural numbers are whole numbers that start with 1. So they don't include 0 or negative numbers, just 1. So 1, 2, 3. Call them like the counting numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so forth. Now a whole number, which is designated by capital W, that includes also 0. So in other words, 1 is both a natural number and a whole number. Okay? Then we have what we call integers, which is denoted by Z. It's kind of odd, but it's Z. And integers include 0 and negatives. So, negative and positive. So if you have 1, again, 1 is also a natural number, a whole number, and an integer, because it includes both negatives and positive numbers. Then we have what we call rationals, which are like fractions. The only thing is that b can never be 0. Okay. Then we have what we call irrational numbers, which are numbers that that you cannot that keeps repeating, or you cannot really divide or combine two integers on top of each other. Okay, so let's say, for example, let's take number 3. Okay, so let's figure out what type of numbers these are. So 3, obviously everything is a real number, right? Okay, is it a natural number? Yes, it is, because it's a positive whole number, so it's a natural number. Is it a whole number? Yes, it is. Okay, is it an integer? Yes, it is. It's a whole number. It's a positive, can be a positive integer. Okay, is it rational? Well, let's see. How can you write this into a ratio? We know that any whole number is always going to be something, the number itself over 1, so it's going to be 3 over 1. So we know that 3 over 1, so 3 is integer, 1 is integer. So yes, it can also be what we call a rational. And then, is it irrational? Well, if it's rational, it cannot be irrational. So it's a real number, it's a natural number, it's a whole number, it's an integer, and it is also a rational. So let's try one more. How about 10 over 11? Alright. Well, we know that everything's a real number. Every number is a real number, pretty much. Alright, is it a natural number? No, it's not, because it has to be a whole number, but this is a ratio. So, whole number? No, because it's a ratio. Is it an integer? No, because even integers, even though it's negative or positive, they're all whole numbers. Is it a rational? Definitely is a rational. So it's going to be Q. So really the only thing is that it's a real number and it's a rational number. Alright. Let's try square root of 77. Goes I. Alright. Sorry. So, first things first is we know that's always going to be a real number. Question is square root of 77 going to be natural, whole, integer, or rational or irrational? So let's factor out the factor of 77. It's going to be 7 times 11. So obviously we know that we can't factor anything out here. So 77, let's figure out what the value of 77 is, or square root of 77. So take the square root of that, and I'll show you the calculator that it just keeps going and going and does not repeat itself. So any number that just that you can't write as a rational, like this, alright, and it just keeps repeating, that's what we call irrational.